Hi, Jeremiah. I hope this is working. I hope I'm sort of in front of the camera. I've got a book that I have called Yoga for Healthy Knees, and I know that we might not ever really get a chance to be together or work together, but I just wanted to share with you a few things that I learned in the book. Because I also have a knee that I have to kind of take care of from time to time. So these are just some things you can do with a chair. So that's really kind of cool because it's sometimes hard to get enough space and time to get in the right kind of clothes to be able to move and stretch on a yoga mat. But a chair is always, more accessible and something you can just even try in your office. The first thing I want to show you is that you can actually go to the back of your chair and you can do some strengthening postures. This one's called Warrior One or Hero One in yoga. And what you can do is you can hold on to the back of a chair. You take one foot forward and then extend the opposite foot back as you bend this knee over that ankle joint. All right. So when you do this, you are really doing a lot of strengthening through the legs. You're stretching. You can even turn this toe out just slightly. The belly button is still going to face the back of the chair, and you can stretch hip flexor muscles. The things with our knees is that you're wanting to work the muscles and everything around that knee, but you're also wanting to work on your foot, your ankle, and your hip and your legs, for everything is going to work together to be strong. Now, after you work this, and if you feel like you can give yourself a little more balance challenge, you can lift like an arm up in the air or two arms up in the air. You take your deep breath. And you can hold it practice the breaths that you hold it. You can start with 2 or 3 and work up to 10, 15, whatever feels good is the right thing to try. So there is no right way to do it. It's the way it feels good for you, and then growing and getting stronger and more healthy from there, more nutritious, as you might say. All right. The other thing you want to do here is you want to back your hips up, and you want to stretch out through the back, through the legs. This is called a half dog. You can do it on a wall. You can hold it on a wall. And again, this is good for stretching. And you can stretch muscles in the back. You can stretch muscles in the legs. And then you set yourself up and you work the opposite side. So now the foot that was back becomes the forward leg to work. All right. You stretch this like that. And you just take the space between your feet as whatever feels right for you. So it can be a deeper stretch if that feels good, or it can be a smaller stretch. You can pull the leg in. All right, but the important thing is to squeeze all those muscles, engage the muscles around that joint, and keep the knee over that ankle as you work it. And after you do that, then you're welcome to kind of go back and stretch out through your dog. All right? Now, another thing that the book describes are balances are helpful. And so you can practice balances by just holding on to the back. And I guess I should maybe make anglets so you can see what I'm doing back here. But you can just lift a knee up and practice that balance challenge. Again, if it feels good, you can lift one arm up, or you feel like you can do both arms up. That would be, and all that wibble wobbling that happens in your body, that's great stuff for strengthening. All those muscles that don't get a chance to work are getting a chance to work when you try that. All right, and if you fall out of it, it's all good. And if you want to try again, you're welcome to, or you're ready to try maybe the opposite leg. So again, you root that foot into the ground, lift this knee up. Maybe this leg isn't as strong. Maybe you want to hang on to the back of the chair here. That's all good. Or maybe you do want to try lifting one arm, and then if that feels good and you want to ride the bus a little farther, you can take the bus all the way to both hands up in the air. And then you just welcome the wobble that you feel, and every time you waver with it, you just want to squeeze the muscles in your tummy really tight. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Not up by your ears. I know when I try something very challenging for my body, I keep my shoulders up by my ears. So the idea is to relax your shoulders as you give that a try. Okay, now let's just do a couple of things here around the chair, and then we'll sit in the chair. All right, so this one is called the triangle pose. It's like my favorite pose. You take a toe underneath the chair as you stand side by side chair. You might have a chair that doesn't have arms on it, and that probably might be better. But you can take your arms out like you crossed a big capital letter T, all right? And then you breathe in, and as you exhale, you push your hand over the chair seat, and you reach down to the chair seat, and you reach up to the sky. Now again, the distance between the ankles can be different. Like you can really stretch this leg away and really looking up to the sky. You can put books or something in your chair so you don't have to go down as low. But this gives you a lot of opportunity to strengthen your core. Again, you're working hips and ankles and legs and your back, and you're really reaching here as you reach up in triangle. And it's not about getting down, like the hand all the way down low to the foot or low to the chair. It's more about really opening up the chest and the heart and really trying to look high. Again, with triangle, you're balancing, you're stretching, you're strengthening, and don't forget to breathe. You always want to breathe when you're working your yoga poses. All right, so from a strong base, strong legs, strong arms, strong tummy, you breathe in and reach up. And then you bring your feet back together, and then you can kind of shake and wiggle as you go to the other side. And yogis say that kind of resets your nervous system when you do that a little, and even some rebounding can be helpful. A little bit of shake. Okay, so we're on the opposite side. All right, toes can be parallel. Then remember, you take one and tuck it under the chair seat. You can leave it shallow, or you can take it deeper if that feels good in your body, and you just play with it. If anything ever hurts, then you don't go there, because yoga is not supposed to be painful. Yoga is supposed to be a way to strengthen and stretch and to get a little stronger, and you can feel that, oh, it feels so good kind of hurt, but never a pain, never a sharp pain, if something hurts, it's like eating spicy food off the buffet. Don't do it, right? Don't go there. You don't need that in your tummy, in your system. All right, so we're going to stretch our arms out again like we've crossed a big capital letter T. Breathe in, and as you exhale, you push out over the chair seat, roll it down, and roll it up. All right, and again, you can see me wobbling. The ground here is not even, but even if you have even ground, you may still wobble with it, and that's okay. All right, so you're reaching high, reaching low. You can again stack the books up so you don't have to reach so low down into the chair seat. And again, this pose, all the legs are strong and long, okay? No, you don't want to lock out joints, but you don't. With the first pose, we had one leg long and one leg bent, okay? So we're going to come up again, breathe it in, and then squeeze and bring everything up, and then shake it all out, okay? All right, so that's a warrior one or hero one pose, a wall dog or half dog pose. You do those poses on both sides. We did a triangle on both sides, and we did a balancing pose on both sides. And then one last thing that I wanted to share with you from the book is that there is a way to stretch a little bit. And I find that people, depending on the body that they're in, you have to adjust this. So the idea is that you are going to have this ankle come over the other ankle, and then you just bring it up the leg where your body will let you do it. And so your body might not go farther than that, but if you can come up even further, oops, Peter, yuck, all right, and then you can go up even further where you can bring the ankle over the knee eventually, maybe not when you start, but eventually. And this is another way to work on stretching and strengthening for that leg. And I feel it in my hip when I do this. And you can also adjust it by leaning over. If you just lean slightly forward, you'll feel more stretch. But again, you can use it if you've got at home an ottoman or something. You can prop the foot up at different. If it doesn't feel good to prop it on the leg and crawl it up that way, and that's just another way to get that done. Okay, and again, because you have two legs, don't forget to do both sides. So, and you may find it's not unusual that one leg does something a little different. I had a great yoga teacher tell me one time that if you'd had the same thing going on both sides of your body, probably means you lived a very boring life, because the imbalances that we create in our bodies are because of how we've lived and how we've enjoyed life. All right, so again, a little bit of leaning forward, and I feel more of a stretch with that. Sometimes that's called a pigeon. Sometimes that's called a figure four pose. Um, so play with that. And again, I do invite you to experiment and make it work for you. Those are all good ideas that are in that Yoga for Knees book. And then, of course, you always want to end your yoga practice with a chance to sit still and quiet. So I'm going to sit up nice and tall and take my palms to my heart to remember that we have this opportunity to release oxytocin when we cross our hands over our heart, because that touch is where that cuddle hormone will release. And it doesn't even have to be a hug from somebody else. You can give yourself that opportunity to feel a little bit happier and a little more comfortable. And we'll take a big breath in and a big breath out. Big breath in. And go out the mouth or nose. And one more big breath in. Out. And yay for yoga. Namaste, Jeremiah. I hope those will be some ideas that you can try, and I'll be glad to explain anything or share the book if you'd like to check out the book and look it over to see if you can find other things that might be a good fit for you. All right, Jeremiah, see you around. Thank you so much for being interested in yoga.